What's up, everybody? Zach here with the Nerd Cave News. I am one of your hosts. I'm joined along with the Queen Bee of the Mean Girls at school. She can tear you down faster than you can say lip gloss and scrunchies. It's Chanel Faraday.
Hey girl, how you doing?
Doing good, boo. Doing good. Chanel, how are you doing tonight?
I am fantabulous. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. You know what? I wasn't even recording any of that.
No.
I'll pull it from the Twitchies. You know, it'll be all good. It'll be all good. Yeah, it's all work. It all works out, guys. You know what I mean? It all works out live. Yeah, we do it live. We do it live, guys. So Chanel.
Yes.
You had an excursion. You went to Atlanta, and you went and watched a football game. How was that?
If you can call it that.
The bloodbath.
Like a beat down.
The bloodbath that it was.
It was like I feel for my buddy Matt. That was his first live Oregon game, and what an impression to go. But no, I mean the game itself was fun. Like all the fans around us, even like the Georgia fans, like we got along, all of them. There was a family that sat in front of us. He asked, he saw, because I was neutral. I wore Green Bay shirt because I don't have anything Oregon, but I figured, all right, I'll support my buddy and wear at least the colors. He was in Oregon, so he's like, y'all are from? And we're like, no, we're from Alabama. And he just gave us a look like, what? Like, he saw me, he asked, was like, so why are you wearing Oregon? And, he explained how he became a fan and whatnot. And then he looks at me and is like, and you've got a Green Bay shirt on. You don't even like, and I said, I'm just confused. I've got the Georgia G, but the Oregon colors. It's all right. I'm neutral.
Well, Chanel, we all know you're confused.
I mean, that's 90% of the time, honestly.
Yeah, especially when you're in hot Atlanta. Atlanta. Now, have you been playing anything, Chanel? Like, I know we've got our game club and everything. Have you been playing anything else other than game club?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't had time to play anything. Like, I know, I did download Rumbleverse, but I haven't even touched it yet because, like, I've been tired, boss. Like, this cash off is wearing me out.
I understand. Played a little bit of Rumbleverse Monday on stream, and dude, duos is so much harder than like solo. Like solo, really? I can get in the top 3. Duos, like the best me and Brandon did, and Brandon was carrying like hardcore. And it was his first time playing, but he was carrying. I was trash. Yeah. We got in like the top 4. I think that was the best one did, okay. But it was so much harder because like you can actually like revive and everything. So you have to really plan it out. You have to really plan it out when you're gonna push all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Rumbleverse is fun though.
So it's like any other battle royale.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like it. It's like this, like it's hidden. You know what I mean? It's like it's all like it's like the packaging doesn't make it's like, oh, this is fun with just like wrestling and everything. And then like you start playing, it's like, no, you have to actually like strategize and play like a battle royale. Like it's not just So, but yeah, I enjoyed it, and then played the Halo event that's going on right now. It's called.
I did see you play that Monday.
Yeah, the Yappeting, and big team battle is always hectic to begin with, but when you add in Fiesta, where you spawn with a different weapon every time, or it's rockets and skewers, or it's just sniper rifles, it gets real crazy real fast. So is it something that I want to play? No, but there's something that I want out of this event. So I've got literally like 3 more things that I need to get, and I'm done with it. So not bad.
Yeah,
that's what I've been playing. I did crank up Lawnmower Simulator, but I didn't play any. And they crank it up at least. I've also been
looking at the simulator games. I'm gonna be honest with you, completely 100% candid. Used to bash when Farming Simulator came out, and I'm just like, especially when farmers would come in and be like, yeah, let me get this game. I'm like, you do this for a living. Why would you want to play what you do? But now after playing Power Wash Simulator and looking at Lawn Simulator, because that's another intriguing one, I'm like, I understand, because while it is like especially Power Wash Simulator is very tedious with all the little spots you have to clean, I get it. It is relaxing. It is mindless, just not depravity, but mindless fun, enjoyment. It's just like simple. You know what your objective is. It may take you a few minutes to get there, but you're good.
It's satisfying as well. Like you're not having to worry about, a story. You can have a podcast. You can have something else going while you're doing it, and it's just, you can get a buddy with you and doing it. If you've already beaten the level, you can get like a bunch of people on there. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. But Chanel, we're not here to talk about Power Simulator, because tonight, if you don't know, this is the Nerd Cave News, where each and every week we run you through all the video game news that you need to know. You can watch us live over on twitch.tv/NerdCave Network, or on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time, or you can watch the show later on youtube.com/NerdCave Network. Make sure to hit the follow and subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. I like it somewhere people can see the video, and check us out over on TikTok, the TikTok Nerd Cave Network. We're putting out content every day. Like I went from once a day. We went double the last 2 days.
Yeah.
We went double the last 2 days.
Notifications.
Yeah. I'm tagging old Chanel. I'm like, hey, Chanel's in here talking about it. And you can get a podcast version of the show on all the podcast services around the globe. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review, or we'll find you and we will hurt you. We will hurt you.
I got my claws ready.
Yeah. But you know what doesn't hurt, Derek?
Our wonderful patrons.
They don't hurt at all. But you can become part of the ship, part of the exclusive crew, by going over to patreon.com/nerdcave, just like our wonderful crew members. The first mate, Brandon Hicks, the helmsman, the conductor, our gunners, Daniel Sanford, not Sanford. I put like a T in there. Daniel Sanford, Rushing Waters Yoga, Marilyn James, Brittany, the Granny B. Harrison, and our deckhand, Martin Sager. And guys, if you want to support the Nerd Cave and get you some awesome games at the same time, you want to get them V-Bucks, you want to get them Brawler Bucks, you want to get that remastered Spider-Man, you want to do all of that, you can go over to the Epic Games Store and use our creator code NerdCave at checkout, and all of these things help. The free stuff, like if you go and you get all the free things, it still helps. It's kind of crazy how all that works out. But use our creator code, get your V-Bucks, get your Sony games on Epic Games Store, and use our creator code and be epic. Speaking of epic, God of War 2018 is our September game club. We're wrapping up God of War this month, and in anticipation of God of War Ragnarok, which we've got some news to talk about tonight on, we've been playing God of War 2018. Derek said he hadn't been able to play. You want to know a secret, Derek?
Yeah.
I haven't played it since the first time I turned it on.
Oh my gosh. Well, no, how about this? I did play it Sunday when I got home.
Okay.
But you just asked if I had played anything else except other than our game club.
Yeah, true.
So, but yeah, so I did play that Sunday. That's the only day I played it this week, but I have played it.
Okay. Yeah, I like my PlayStation 5 is literally sitting in the living room right now, and I just haven't had the time. You know what I mean?
It's like trust me, I understand.
Yeah, it's like get done with everything, and it's like I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna watch some TV. I'm gonna hang out with Amy. Gonna watch some Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chanel, you ever watch Gilmore Girls?
No, I've seen a lot of previews. Never watched it.
It's a good show. It's a lot more complex than people like want to give it. Gilmore Girls, the October game club of the month.
Yeah.
People are like, that's not even a game. It's not a game. Which will announce October's game, which I'm pretty sure is going to be Plague Tale Requiem, but you know.
I don't know. See, I don't know, because well, we'll get into it later, but it worries me because it's middle of the month, and then it's like literally 2 weeks until God of War after that, and I'm like, I don't want anything to hinder me.
Yeah, I don't want to have no shackles, you know. I don't want no strings to hold me down. Speaking of strings that hold us down, the Division Heartland info spills on Ubisoft's store ahead of the Ubisoft Forward.
What? You mean info spills before a Ubisoft event? No, that never happens. According to the store page, Heartland is billed as a, quote, free-to-play survival action multiplayer shooter set in small-town middle America. Players can expect, quote, massive PvEVP 45-player battles where you'll go up against a group of dangerous rogue agents, an aggressive faction known as the Vultures, while surviving a lethal virus. Complete PvE missions, gather gear, activate alerts, and prep the battlefield in excursion operations. Play as one of 6 agents and select between 3 classes each match with all their own perks and skills. So to me, this feels like this is the first game, because we know we talked about it, I don't think last week, but a few weeks ago, they canceled the Tom Clancy free-to-play game that they were working on, and they're still doing Division. I'm always about some Division, but this tells me that they're going more of a battle royale. Now, you remember Dying Light 1 did a battle royale where it was like player versus the zombies, and it was like you had to extract a portion of the antivirus and then get away with it. This feels like they're doing the same thing, especially when it's like rogue agents, an aggressive faction known as the Vultures, and a lethal virus. So I don't know which one is the type, if it's the agent, well, I would assume it'd be the Vultures, and then the rogue agents are the one of the players. So this feels like it's taking some battle royale, but mixing kind of like the idea Dying Light 1 had to me.
Yeah, it definitely does sound like that, for like anything with Ubisoft that is online based and everything. Like I know a lot of people like Siege. Extraction didn't hold water. For Honor kind of like got a second wind and then got really popular for a while. It just feels like their online side of things is weak because they don't have the longevity. So this coming out, like I remember this being free to play and everything. Like I think we'll have a good start to it, but let's see what 6 months down the road is. Do they actually stick to their roadmap, or do they just say, hey, we got a graphic, and then when it's inconvenient, we're going to throw the graphic away? You know what I mean? Like everybody else does. But, having 6 agents to pick through, very Siege-like, having different operators and everything. So, we'll time will tell. Time will tell. But, like I'm not holding my breath for Heartland. I just...
Once I see gameplay, I'll have a better understanding of whether I'm gonna. It's a free to play, so I might give it a shot anyway. But it'll tell me once I see actual gameplay. It'll tell me whether it'll be worth my time or not.
Yep. But you know what will be worth our time, Derek?
What is that? To catch them all?
To catch them all. And there's 3 stories apparently that is revealed in the new trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and we're going to take a look at this this bad boy and see how it is. Do you have the trailer?
Hold on. Yeah. So
okay.
And then let me preface it before you press play. They don't go into detail, like they give some like text, but you can't read it fast enough. So I have an article that I'll read that'll go more in depth about what you're going to see here in this 3-minute video.
Okay, awesome. All right, here we go, guys.
There's the 3 branching stories. Starfall.
We're going to face
Starfall Street.
The Ginyu Force?
Yeah, right. Team Star. Obviously, this is the Team Rocket of this entry. That's interesting. Mechanic.
Whoa! I want that bus.
Yeah. It's like something out of Mad Max.
Yeah. Mela. And she's got a turtle. She's Well, she's got she's got the high ground. That's unfair.
Right.
Path of Legends.
I'm sure this is one of the side stories. Oh gosh. Big boy.
The crab feeder, am I right?
Right.
Man, you got like, you hadn't even leveled up.
And then, of course, here's the story we all know from the Pokemon games. What? Okay. Is this like the Orange Islands? Brassius. Danada.
More like gaseous.
Shush. Here's the new mechanic.
Yeah.
So weird that you're riding the legendaries. Like, it just, I don't know.
Well, there's like a non-legendary that you can ride as well.
Yeah.
Mega Man?
Right.
All right.
Okay.
November 18th. All right, Derek, I know you got a little thing you want to read on it.
Yeah. So, revealed in a new trailer and explained more on the Pokemon website, the 3 quest lines are grouped by a single prompt. You're attending a school in the new Paldea region and have been handed a special independent study project with the theme, quote, a treasure hunt. You can find that treasure through 3 different quest lines, which can be taken on in any order. Victory Road is the most familiar of the 3, challenging you to defeat the leaders of 8 Pokemon gyms, then pass, quote, the champion assessment at Pokemon League headquarters. However, you'll also need to complete unique gym tests to get to those battles. The one we see involves collecting Sunflora hidden around the area. Starfall Street is Scarlet and Violet's space to introduce a villainous group, in this case, Team Star. Made up of rebellious students from your school, each squad is led by its own boss, each with their own base scattered across the Paldea region. You'll be heading into bases where Team Star will send a, quote, relentless barrage of Pokemon to get in your way, asking you to defeat a set number within a time limit. Complete that, and you'll need to take on boss riding, their own custom Starmobile, which needs to be defeated alongside their squads of Pokemon. Finally, the third story strand is the Path of Legends, a story set around collecting Herba Mystica, rare ingredients which are said to immediately restore health once eaten. You'll be accompanying a new character, Arvin, to collect the Herba, and battling the Titan Pokemon that guard them. In the trailer, we meet Cloth, an enormous crab-like Pokemon. So, this to me, they are going more, like, we've seen in past entries that they've gone more in-depth with RPG elements.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're taking more of a cue from, like, open-world games a la, like, Ubisoft, especially with Team Star, because, yes, while, like just Team Rocket's the most famous one, right? We've seen them, like, pop up through instances throughout the story, and you have to battle the trainers and do the story missions or whatnot. We've never seen something like have their own bases, all like a Far Cry, and then, you know, this is more of like a Mad Max, where you go to the bases and then you have a boss that you defeated in the Mad Max game before you claimed the base itself. So they're taking a page from that. And then the only thing that worries me is that first excerpt with Victory Road, where it's like, before you however, you have to complete unique gym tests to get to those battles. This is like, oh, you'll have the traditional battle, but before that you have to have this Orange Island test, you know, to earn it.
Yeah, and like I know for most of every like gym, has like a path. It's got a puzzle system that you got to figure out and all of that. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering if that is like their puzzle system for the gyms.
maybe.
But that would be the only thing that I could see. I'm glad that they're doing more than just okay, you're going to catch them all, like RCS was, or it's the same thing where you're going through the gyms. Like I'm glad that they've added two different paths, that you
Yeah.
can do on top of catching them all and getting the gyms and everything.
Hmm.
So I'm glad that they're listening. With all of that, there's a lot of new Pokemon, a lot of new things, new game mechanics. So November 18th will be here. We'll see how this one fares. Like, I like for me, like I'm not like super, like I want to play this one. You know what I mean? Like Arceus, like I was more excited for, and
Yeah.
I didn't. I spent a little bit of time with it, but I need to get back to it and everything. But I wanted to bring Cody's comment real quick up. He said, "Man, I can tell I'm old now. Watching that trailer, I'm excited to see the dialogue text looks to be large enough to read easily."
Yeah, that is a good point. Um, and the other thing is like it seems like they're replacing because in what was it, Sword and Shield, they replaced the raid mechanic, or was it the Diamond and Pearl remakes from last year? They remade, or they had the little raid ones where they had like the
Mm,
mega evolutions.
yep.
And it seems like the bases are going to take over raids, and they're going to make the villain. Because I don't know, I never played Sword and Shield, so I don't know how prominent the villains were. So I think they're trying to make them relevant again. But
Hmm.
now I worry if it's going to be oversaturated, where it's like, all right, we're going to throw all these different bosses at you, and they're not going to have significant value other than just beating them.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, if you can quote unquote complete the game without touching one of the
Yeah,
stories or two of the stories. You know what I mean? Like you could
yeah,
just go do the gyms and not touch either of the other two, or just do the Team Star stuff. That's my question.
yeah. Well, and it's now granted we're probably looking too deep into this, but in the beginning of it, it's like uh and the three quest lines are grouped by a single prompt, like a treasure hunt. You can find that treasure through three different quest lines. It doesn't say like
Mm,
if all three are involved in this treasure hunt, or you can discover the treasure hunt through any one of them. I don't know. Like
mm.
maybe I'm just looking too into it and overthinking it, but it seems like you may not have to complete all three in order to get the answer.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't be like, okay, well, you chose one of them and that's the one you're going to stick with. You have to stick with to do this or whatever. Hopefully you'll
Yeah,
be able to do all three if you want to do all three. Like, be able to get the most out of the game as possible. And
yeah,
speaking of getting the most out of the game, and something that was
yeah.
very disappointing when I read this, because I was really hoping that that would be a feature of this game. Hogwarts Legacy won't feature playable Quidditch.
Boo. Quidditch's absence from Hogwarts Legacy has been confirmed on the game's official FAQ page. Fortunately, Hogwarts Legacy will still feature a ton of flying on brooms to give you that feeling of soaring through the sky. Quote, Quidditch is not playable in Hogwarts Legacy, the official FAQ reads. However, broom flight for traversal and broom race challenges are part of the game. Players can also fly brooms to explore new and familiar locations surrounding Hogwarts Castle. Playable Quidditch has been a thing in the past, and the sport has even had its own game in the Quidditch World Cup. The rest of the FAQ is well worth a read, as it gives a pretty in-depth breakdown of what fans can expect from Hogwarts Legacy when it's released on February 10th, including how much of Hogwarts players can explore, what kinds of classes they can take, and how leveling up works, and more. Um, so yeah, when I read this, I was kind of like you. I was kind of upset about it, downtrodden. But I'm just like, I mean, they're not taking out broom flying completely,
Yeah.
but it's like if you're going to have races, just go ahead and do Quidditch.
Yeah, exactly. Like put that in there. That's a big part of being a student at Hogwarts. Um, you know,
It's iconic with Harry Potter. Like, not even the school, just Harry Potter, period.
yeah. Yeah, we might as well just be at Pig Farts instead of Hogwarts. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I
One thing
guess.
that I thought was cool, that's a shout out for anyone that knows what Pig Farts is. That you can pick what house you want. Uh,
Yes.
so you're not tied to like whatever the the Sorting Hat does, and you can do it like through Pottermore and everything. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thought it was pretty interesting. But you know what time it is, Derek? It's time for that PlayStation news.
Give it to me.
PS5 system update is out now, adds 1440p support and new social features.
So in addition to the 1440p HDMI video output, the PS5 system update also brings with it game lists and social features such as the ability to request a share screen from a party member. You can also now easily view friends' profiles and receive notifications to help you join a friend's game. Elsewhere, Sony has also rolled out the ability to search for YouTube content via voice command. You simply say, "Hey PlayStation, find keyword on YouTube" from anywhere on the PS5, even during gameplay. Users can also compare 3D audio and stereo audio on the same screen more easily. Later this month, we will also see a number of new features come to the PlayStation app on iOS and Android, chief among which includes the ability to launch a PS remote play session using the app. In addition, the request share screen seen on PS5 is also coming to the PS app.
I'm glad that they're continuing support for the PlayStation app. The update that we got, several months ago,
It was significantly better.
Yes, man. The PlayStation app before that was trash. And having remote play brought into that as well. Like I want to say remote play was already in there, or it was a separate app. I can't remember fully and everything, but yeah, like I want to see remote play like take a step forward like xCloud has. I want to see that definitely put in there. But getting 1440p, getting the ability to, because on all the PlayStation 5 controllers, there's an actual mic on there. So
Yep.
Yeah,
because I know like they had voice functionality on the PS4, but you had to have the camera, and then you had to hold down, what was it, the L2 or R2 button to prompt the camera. You couldn't just say, "Hey, PlayStation." Like in a world where everywhere else is, you just simply say voice, especially on the Kinect. Like as janky as that thing was, like you could still use voice command. You didn't have to press an extra button.
Yeah. Dan says, "You literally told my PS5 to open up YouTube while you were reading."
Oh. Well, it's like the when the Xbox is like, "Xbox turn off."
Yeah.
Like people watching through their Xbox literally got it turned off.
Yeah, or using Alexa on things.
Oh yeah.
I spell it because I don't want her waking up on me and yelling at me over here.
And then you just hear a bunch of noise, like she doesn't be quiet for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. One thing I don't see it in the quick hits in the PlayStation quickies. It might be in the quick hits. I'm not sure. PlayStation putting out a new version of the PS5 that's like a couple pounds lighter.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't see enough to. I don't know. Yeah, it was weird. I saw it, but I didn't know if that was just like pertaining to Europe or if that was like everywhere.
Yeah. I think it's the new model and everything, which is interesting that they could shave off like a pound and a half off of a console and everything. Hopefully, Sony's pretty good about putting quality parts in there, so hopefully, it's going to be quality. That's all I can think, all I can talk about. But it's time, Derek. It's time, and I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to check in with our God of War Ragnarok clock.
Let's do that.
We got 61 days, 5 hours, 20 minutes, and 55 seconds, guys.
We are almost 2 months, under 2 months. I'm so stoked.
It's can't wait, guys. November 9th. November 8th will have its day. You know what I mean? All this Skull and Bones people, they'll have their
Sonic
day.
Frontiers?
Yeah. But then November 9th. Boy, he's going to be there. He's going to be there. He's going to be there. You know what I mean? So we're going to watch two different trailers, two different videos for God of War. The first one is showing the new abilities that Kratos has in combat. These are pretty short and sweet videos and everything, but I definitely wanted to take some time since these came out and, we're
Yeah.
super stoked for God of War here.
Because
So
it's the Game Informer article this month or this go around, so they're going to be dropping a ton of deets over the. God of War might be definitely like a mainstay of the PlayStation quickies for at least the next month.
yeah, I think so. You know, it's definitely coming out. You got to get that Five Guys. You know what I mean?
You know.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's check out God of War Ragnarok's combat. This is with all the new updates on combat. So here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, it's Jay from Game Informer. God of
Hey,
War
Jay.
games are known for their expressive, gritty action, and Ragnarok looks to be no different. In fact, 2 lead combat designers told me their process is inspired by
I love that.
Studio Cat.
Yeah.
Play with your food.
Wombo combo.
You can see how Kratos lives up to that philosophy. Grappling ledges.
Whoa,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Stonewall arm shields.
dude.
Effort by stunning with arrows, destroying obstructions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Summoning spectral allies like in the last game. One big change that's pretty easy to miss unless you're playing is the new ability mapped to the triangle button. By holding or mashing triangle, Kratos activates his weapon's signature move. Depending on whether he has a Leviathan axe or Blades of Chaos equipped, Kratos can infuse his steel with ice or fire. These elemental moves, called Frost Awaken and Whiplash, do extra damage by freezing or incinerating enemies. Even though you're an unstoppable ball of rage, one combat designer cautioned that
Yeah.
we shouldn't play with all our food. Some food can eat us pretty easily too. Want more info about the new reptilian creatures called Grims or some of the playstyles you can experiment with? Go to GameInformer.com.
Just the shattering. It was super
Yeah.
dope.
And be sure to stay tuned for more God of War videos.
Like, I like the new traversal system.
Yeah.
That was one of the big issues with God of War for me, was like having to have, you know, the chain drop down, or like it was very slow and methodical
Yeah.
in that side of things. But that is going to be fun because now Atreus is older, you know,
Yeah.
he's not as young and everything. So that I think that lends to the story as well. So the second trailer video that we're going to look at is a look at Ragnarok's Svarfafim.
Lots of time.
That one too. We're going to look at some exclusive gameplay of it.
Jay from Game Informer here.
Hey, Jay.
God of War 2018, we traversed Midgard and its massive Lake of the Nine, Alfheim, home to light and dark elves, Helheim, the underworld, alongside Jotunheim, the land of giants, and even Niflheim and Muspelheim, which pushed players' skills to the limit with combat trials. Sadly, Odin barred access to the remaining realms, but director Eric Williams told me we'll get to explore all 9 in God of War Ragnarok, and that the ones we've
Good.
seen before will feel new again.
Oh,
Without further ado,
I like that.
welcome to Svartalfheim, a realm that
Svartalfheim.
exemplifies dwarven ingenuity. I'm talking technical marvels like mine pits,
Those crows.
water channels, and sprawling cities,
right.
all setting the stage for potentially complex environmental puzzles. To navigate the new realm, we'll need to rely on Kratos' toolset, his weapons, and yes, his son, Atreus. In Svartalfheim, Kratos can freeze geysers by way of the Leviathan axe, dismantle pots with his Blades of Chaos, and command the boy to interact with out-of-reach.
Boy.
I spoke with 2 level designers about Svartalfheim's creation, and both talked about evolving the gameplay in larger spaces. The world and its mechanics reflect the narrative. In the reveal trailer, we watched Kratos and company use sled wolves to get from one far-off point to the next. But in less frozen areas, like Svartalfheim, we'll row down streams or through open waters in a canoe. Perhaps there will be more transportation methods, but for now, all of this suggests a journey vaster and bolder than what came before. For more on the cover story, head to our hub at GameInformer.com/GOW Ragnarok, or swing by our YouTube channel for more gameplay content.
Man, that like I at this point I don't want to see anymore. You know what I mean? Like
No.
I don't want to see anymore. I just want you know, I want the game. Yep, I just want the game. So what did you take away from that, Derek?
So they're not resting on their laurels. They're definitely making improvements where they see fit. Like the traversal was the biggest thing for me in the sense of like during combat. Now, the question is like, give and take is like, all right, we're giving you the ability to like, zip around on like use your blades as like a little like chain swing, like spider web type thing. But now, how screwy are those enemies going to be with you that you have to jump around like, all over the map like a jackrabbit?
Yeah, like using kind of like the grappling hook, Batman's grappling hook and everything. Yeah, like the combat that they've added and everything, which like you already had fire and ice with those, so it's not like I know it's a step up from just like basic attacks and everything.
Yeah.
So like that's not like, oh my god, they added something new. Like I know we talked about that last week that they added that, but it was just like I was like, okay, like both of them already did that, but now it's like a souped up version, a hyper attack or whatever.
Now it makes you wonder. It's like, will they introduce? Because Atreus got different elements throughout the first game for puzzle solving. Is Kratos going to get some other elementals abilities besides ice and fire? Because they hid the blades really well in God of War. Like they basically just said, oh, like it's a full reboot, just the axe. We're not going to really touch on anything. And then it's like blades. Midway through the game, and it's like, all right, what are you hiding now? It's like, what are you not telling us? Because, they did say in like going to the exploration trailer, like with the realms, Svartalheim definitely looks very lived in. It looks a little bit more fleshed out than some of the other realms that you had. Because not to say the other realms were empty, but they were just like, it doesn't seem like you could interact, or it didn't like seem as lively. And, but Svartalheim definitely feels like, even though you didn't see people, it's like, all right, stuff is going on here. And I like the fact that we get to see all realms now. It kind of makes me think now that, not to say, because Asgard is included if you look at the tables. And when we go back, because now I'm not gonna get into this. I like that we're getting all to the all 9 realms. But do you feel like they shouldn't have done 6? Like, even though there were 6 that we went to, 2 of them, Muspelheim and Niflheim, felt like glorified challenge areas. Now, and they said in the trailer that when we can go to those old ones and they'll have like new things to explore, new like stories to tell there. So it'll be a fresh coat of paint. It just won't be like, oh, we're just copying, pasting, and adding the 3 realms that you couldn't access. But do you feel like we visited too many in the last game and they should have left a little bit more for this one?
No, I don't think so. Like having the challenge areas was great. I enjoyed the challenge areas a lot. I played a ton of those. But with the others, like there's a story element that's in Alfheim that didn't get solved. We talked about this before on the first one. So that'd be nice to see actually solved. What is the war between the light and the dark elves going on? And it being Ragnarok, Set has a big, I think it's Set. That might be Egyptian mythology. But one of the fire giants has a huge part in the destruction of Asgard and everything. So going back to Muspelheim and seeing that and like interacting with him, like would be awesome to see. Helheim, I don't want to go back there. That place stinks. My God, like you went there twice in the original game, and this is like, my Lord, please stop this. But I think like seeing what Ragnarok is doing to the various realms is important for the story. So I think we're in for a treat. I think it's going to be a long game. You know what I mean?
So that might be a 3-month game, just maybe. I don't know. Just saying. We'll see. But two more takeaways I want to bring up real quick, because you said something, like with the different realms and like, do you think they will? Because we saw Midgard in the first reveal trailer. The lake was frozen because Ragnarok was starting, and you had to go on a sled instead of a boat. Do you think as the story progresses and Ragnarok increasingly gets worse, that we will see all the realms change in some way to Ragnarok?
Oh yeah, definitely, because they're all connected on the tree and everything, and I think like we will see major shifts in all of them. Like even at the end of God of War 1, like when it
Mhm.
starts, like there's snow everywhere. Like that was not
Yeah.
how it was. So like I think it's going to be far reaching. It's not just going to be Midgar. I think every place is going to have some sort of um representation that Ragnarok is going on and
Yeah.
everything.
And then my other thing is like because you know in the original trilogy we didn't really go to Olympus till God of War 3, and that was the
Mhm.
end of that original trilogy. Because they confirmed that we'll go to Asgard in this one. Now, yes, you know Thor's going to be one of the main antagonists. We think the only one and main antagonist for this game. Do you think that because Corey's talked about, hey, I don't want to spend as many entries in this mythology as I do, and they're kind of throwing around like the Assassin's Creed, where they want to explore the other mythologies, not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Norse. Do you think that is more confirming to you that this will be the last entry in the Norse chapter of God of War?
Sort of. Like they're gonna have to. It's either going to be really dense because the first one was super dense,
Yeah,
and story and gameplay and all of that, which I'm fine. I'm fine with like having a 2-part like series instead of a 3
yeah,
part, as long as it's executed well and not rushed. Like I don't want to get halfway through the story and then things start feeling rushed. To be able to wrap it up all in one go.
yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of questions to be answered in this one if
Hmm.
it is the last one in if it's a duology instead of a trilogy.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot to be discussed. What's going to happen after Ragnarok? How, like is Kratos going to be going to another place?
yeah,
Maybe Egypt. Who knows where he's going to go from here?
yeah,
But there's also questions with Atreus, Loki, and all of
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Like, how is that, like that tapestry tells a lot of things.
Yep.
A tapestry
It
tells a
leaves a
lot of
lot to
things.
be open and a lot to interpret, and you don't know which is right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really, really excited for all of these. I'm gonna take Dan's comment before we get into the quickies.
Hmm.
He said, I'm looking forward to Mimir's stories, more of Mimir's stories. And I would agree. That was one of my favorite things. And one of the saddest moments was when Mimir had no more stories for me when I was
I
playing God
know,
of War. I was just like, okay.
but I was looking forward to these.
Yeah, exactly. It was like every time I got in the boat, I was looking forward to more stories. But I know what y'all been all looking forward to, guys. I know
Oh,
what you've been waiting for.
are we
Yes.
skipping? Are we skipping that other article or that other segment I put in there
Nani? What
about
others?
Sony and Microsoft?
Oh, I guess I got an old copy.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I added
Go
in like
ahead.
an out.
Go ahead and
Anyway,
read it. Go ahead and read the title.
so we have some update regarding Call of Duty and Xbox and Sony. Xbox is I would say, not the victim, but they definitely aren't they're definitely not the instigator in this. So we have some beef. Phil Spencer reportedly promised Jim Ryan that Call of Duty would remain on PlayStation for, quote, several more years past its current deal with Activision. In what seems to be another attempt to drill that point into the minds of players, a new report from The Verge reveals that Spencer wrote a letter to PlayStation boss Jim Ryan in which he promised that the global shooter franchise will remain on PlayStation for, quote, several more years past Sony's current deal with Activision. Quote, in January, we provided a signed agreement to Sony to guarantee Call of Duty on PlayStation with feature and content parity for at least several more years beyond the current Sony contract, an offer that goes well beyond typical gaming industry agreements. Now, Spencer doesn't elaborate what happens after those, quote, several years, which does leave it open to debate as to whether or not it ever will become exclusive. However, we've got the Sony side of this. Jim Ryan calls Microsoft's offer to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation after its current deal expires, quote, inadequate on many levels. Now it looks like we have an answer, as Jim Ryan and PlayStation provided a statement to GamesIndustry.biz revealing that Spencer promised Call of Duty would remain for 3 years after its current agreement. For Ryan, this is not at all a good deal, even though it means PlayStation players would still be able to enjoy Call of Duty titles releasing on PlayStation for almost another decade. You can check out the full statement here. Quote, I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into public forum. Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on so many levels and failed to take on the impact of our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle. So, I say Microsoft is not in the wrong because Jim Ryan is feeling, again, it's the sour grapes scenario. Like, Jim Ryan has definitely had some sour grapes over the last calendar year for us regarding different things. But especially when it comes to like live service and all that, like the future of single player, he's putting his foot in it several times since we've done the show. But I think Phil Spencer's just like, hey, we did this, and Jim Ryan's like, oh, this was a private agreement. I'm like, look, everything is private until you get into like a court date where all those documents leak and like stuff gets out about plans, even if it didn't see the light of day. Stuff gets out. We see Ubisoft's their stuff leaks even before they even actually reveal it. This kind of business matter, when it involves a franchise going exclusive or not, it's going to see the light of day. It doesn't matter what was said, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Like, I can understand both sides.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like tit for tat kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if I have an agreement and it is not in the public eye, if I have a business agreement and it's not in the public eye, and then the person that I've done in the agreement with brings it into the public eye, not out of court, not any of those things, then it feels like I've been betrayed. It feels like I have, can I really trust this person fully?
Yeah.
That's where it comes down to and everything. And, Xbox is acting like it's being so altruistic about this. If they don't put their games on Sony, if they don't put Call of Duty on there, you are missing out so many players.
Yeah.
PlayStation 4, 117 million consoles. PlayStation 5, I think it's like 20, 30 million or something like that.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge money. So it's like, do you really want to drop the ball here? Do you really want to, bite the hand that feeds you? So, it just feels like petty middle school, kind of, well, you know what I mean? We had an agreement, it's like that sort of deal. That's how it feels to me.
And I think part of it was like, I don't think Phil Spencer was intentionally like trying to like start anything by saying this. I think he was just trying to let the fans know it's like, hey, this is what we have in mind. This is, at least for right now, not saying that it couldn't be extended later on, but he's like, this is what we have on the table right now. And I think Jim Ryan, while yes, like you do bring up a good point, until something gets asked, don't bring it into public perception. At the same time, he doesn't need, I think he got it twisted, the intention anyway.
Yeah, 100%. But let's move past the petty quarrels, the middle school back and forth. Let's get into the PlayStation quickies.
So to start off, Masayasu Ito resigning as Sony Interactive Entertainment deputy president on October 1st. PS5 Gray Camouflage Collection announced for fall. That'll be the stereo headset, DualSense controller, and the plates for PS5. An interesting one. Firewall Ultra announced as PSVR 2 follow-up to Firewall 0 Hour. What Remains of Edith Finch free PS5 upgrade now available for those who claimed the PS4 PS Plus version. Bungie says Destiny 2 power level could see major changes, but it would be a mammoth task. Some Last of Us news. The Last of Us Part 1 new trophy editions revealed in wake of multiplayer not being included. And The Last of Us Part 1 fans think the game contains hints to Naughty Dog's new IP, which is set in like a fantasy setting.
The camouflage. What do you feel about that, Derek?
I'm not the biggest camo fan. Like the red camo sort of intrigued me a little bit when they did it on PS4, but I'm not a big camouflage person. Like, I'm glad we're getting like a new color scheme because, you know, Xbox does like new controllers. It feels like every other week, even though they haven't done one in a really long time. It seems like, at least a regular like color, controller color. But Sony takes their sweet time to do color changes. So I'm glad to see something new.
Yeah, same. Welcome, Aster, to the stream. Hope you're doing well tonight. Derek, we got one leg of the race left. And that's the quick hits.
So to start off, Multiverses confirms Gizmo from the Gremlins to join the roster. Rocket League Season 8 is out now and adds a new Rocket Pass and Sovereign Heights Arena. The Quarry director's new game is sticking to the horror genre, targeting a 2025-2026 launch. Hogwarts Legacy Q&A reveals... Oh, wait, I already meant to take that out because we already talked about it in an earlier article. Splitgate developer turns its attention to a new Unreal Engine 5 project and ends feature development for Splitgate. Striking Distance Studios has 4 years of DLC planned for the Callisto Protocol after launch. That is a long time, and they better hope that game delivers. Mario Kart Tour is removing its controversial gacha mechanic. Telltale Games can't say if The Wolf Among Us 2 will launch before The Expanse in 2023. Suikoden trademark has been renewed by Konami ahead of TGS. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Traders Combat promises to be a strategy masterclass. Assassin's Creed, Skull and Bones, and more to be featured at upcoming Ubisoft Forward. But wait, there's more Ubisoft news. Ubisoft Forward will seemingly include Assassin's Creed Infinity. Following that, Ubisoft will reportedly announce 2 major Assassin's Creed titles at the Ubisoft Forward. Ubisoft's new mobile shooter is reportedly a scrapped Far Cry game. Tencent invests heavily in Ubisoft's family holding company. An interesting one here, AEW Fight Forever reportedly fails to include more AEW top wrestlers. Rumor, Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes remaster could be in the cards. Some Cyberpunk / CD Projekt Red news. Cyberpunk 2077 New Game Plus unlikely to be included in next major update. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty expansion out next year and is the, quote, only planned expansion for the game, says Dev. However, CD Projekt Red says it is, quote, fully committed to Cyberpunk IP even after Phantom Liberty. The Witcher is getting a lo-fi mobile spin-off called Roach Race. CD Projekt Red has, quote, more than one Witcher game in mind for the franchise's next saga. New BioShock is reportedly set in Antarctica, is bigger than the previous games, and should launch by the end of 2024. State of Decay 3 is being made in Unreal Engine 5, and the Gears of War devs are assisting. Xbox Series X and S are getting a noise suppression feature. Crystal Dynamics has officially taken control of key franchises, including Tomb Raider and Legacy of Kain. Microsoft reveals less expensive Xbox Elite Series 2 Core Edition controller. And Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are getting a special edition Switch OLED.
Why aren't they working on Gears 6?
Oh, like, I am worried, like, that, I'm not saying that they would do this, but I'm worried that the Coalition is going like, or they're doing like the Activision thing where like other studios are just going to like be assisting from now on and not make games.
Yeah. And that would be the worst thing ever because the Coalition did such a fantastic job with Gears 5.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. Had Gears 5 not been as successful as it was, I will think they probably would have been not the nail in the coffin, but at least for them making games and be a long time, Microsoft to just be like, you help. Don't make games for a while. Like just watch what other people do.
Yeah, because it's not the first time we've seen the Coalition pop up where they're helping. And we know that it's a large studio, but it's like, where's Gears 6? We haven't heard anything. They're getting rid of the esports side of Gears. So they're slowly like turning the lights off on that. So where's the rest of it?
Yeah.
And then lots of Assassin's Creed news, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on there. Do you think Mirage and Infinity are going to be like like Mirage is going to be the next one? Do you think
Yeah.
Infinity is like the goal that they're shooting for, and they want to kind of cast the vision for that?
Well, and supposedly, like, I meant to, like, I didn't want to make it an article because there wasn't enough news, but supposedly, like, digging deep, like, they're also going to go into other stuff, like other like stuff outside of Infinity. Like, apparently they're going to make a couple Assassin's Creed after that is going to be back to the RPG elements. And it's like, why are you making Mirage that is going back? Like, it's so confusing. It's so Ubisoft though, but it's so confusing. Like, I think they want to just invest heavily in Assassin's Creed, but they kind of don't. They want to appeal to a broad market, but not make it their own vision like what they used to do.
Yeah. And like, I feel like since it's like the 15-year anniversary, they poorly manage things to like give a 15-year anniversary kind of Assassin's Creed like hoopla or whatever. So this is their answer, is just kind of shovel a bunch of crap out and be like, we love Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they've put out some pretty dope like trailers in the last few days for Assassin's Creed, like showing like the whole history and everything. But it's like, where is the next, the next entry,
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, I think they want to like touch all bases. Like, I think Mirage calling back to the first game is like, going back to where it all began. We want to celebrate Assassin's Creed through the ages. At the same time, it's like, all right, are you appeal? Because you could just do Infinity and do it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why are you having to make all these separate games that appeal to different markets? Like, makes me think that Infinity they're trying to make it too grandiose, and then they're having to delay it. Because I think the last time we reported on, I think it'd be 2024, 2025 at the earliest when we would see Infinity. So I think maybe they're like, hey, maybe we can bite off more than we could chew, and we're going to have to kick it down the road even further, but we're going to have these other projects lined up to quell that thirst.
Like, do you think we see something like the side-scroller Assassin's Creeds, or it was Assassin's Creed Liberty? It was on the PSP.
Liberation. No. Liberation was on the Vita.
Yeah, the Vita. That's right, the Vita.
I don't know, because the Liberation did come to consoles. So, and the 2.5D is weird because there was only one hit that was China. The other two were flops.
Yeah.
So I think 2 out of 3 bad. I think they're going to wash that. They could make a comeback. Who knows? But I don't know. I feel like they could do other like types of projects, like different iterations, but I don't know. I don't see that anymore. I think Ubisoft is trying to get away from gimmicks right now like that.
Yeah, I don't know. They make no sense to me. They make no sense to me. And then the last one that I wanted to reiterate, Splitgate, like they're going to continue like to have it online, and like they're going to, it's going to run and everything, but it's done.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Sort of like Friday the 13th. That game had such potential, and then granted it had a different set of circumstances for why it stopped doing content, but when's the last time we talked about Friday the 13th?
Exactly. Because, Predator came out the next year.
Yeah.
But, one thing that I did like is they're going to do the next game that they're making and everything is going to be based in that universe. There's going to be portals. They're going to take the ideas that they've built and the physics that they've built in Splitgate and bring it into this new game. And I loved Splitgate. It was a ton of fun. Kind of sad that they're, wrapping things up. There is going to be a free battle pass with it. That you can go through and everything. But yeah, it's kind of sad because I love Splitgate.
Yep.
And then I threw it to the side and I went to Halo. Just threw it to the side.
You got to go back to your first love.
Yep. And Tencent. My gosh.
Coming in hot and heavy.
But, at the same time, like, Ubisoft has been ran poorly.
Yeah.
For the last, 5-10 years.
It's like, maybe it's time for a change.
Yeah. Something's got to change. Something got to change. But guys, you don't have to change. All you got to do is make sure you hit that like and follow button. Make sure to support us that way. Go follow us on TikTok, NerdCave Network over there. It'll help us out. We're trying to hit 1,000. We're at 850 right now, and your follow could get us there. One more closer, one step closer to hitting that 1,000. And if you want to support us financially, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave, pick the tier that best fits you, and check out our podcast version that's available on all podcast services around the sphere.
The sphere, the globe.
Yep, the globe. I was trying to go not globe. I'm also like really, really sleepy right now. Like it was hitting me like hardcore at the end of it. But guys, this has been Zach
And
Chanel Faraday. Yep. Chanel Faraday.
Y'all have a blessed week. Bye.